Well, welcome back. Well, pub owners are fearful that their bottom lines will suffer significantly this month as new research suggests more than a third of people will attempt dry January. Wow, it's very high, a third of people. Let's speak to the actor and TV pub landlord Danny Dyer about this. A very good morning to you, Danny. Thanks so much for joining us. Whereabouts are you joining us from?
I'm in the Chancellor's Boozer in Crisp Road, weirdly, over in Hammersmith. Lovely old school boozer.
I love that. Crisp Road, perfect placement for it. And talk to us about this campaign you're getting behind. Dry January presumably is not something you're going to encourage people not to do, but at the same time wanting pubs to be well supported.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want to do dry January and they want to, try January being a healthier month. So I've had a little collab with Walkers and it's trying to, January's a bad month for boozers. I think most months at the moment are bad for boozers and I think last year 400 shut down. So it's about trying to keep people going to pubs. Not necessarily, if you're not drinking, it's okay because you can go into a pub and order a non-alcoholic drink and then you get a free pack of Walkers or a free pint of Walkers. And everyone wants a pint of Walkers crisps, don't they, in their life?
I mean, they do. Salt vinegar for me, please.
It's their healthier option, their better option, So it's basically that, okay? In one word, got it?
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, please keep that down now. We've plugged all the things we need to plug. I want to keep it going though and stick on these. My other question though on this, Danny, is as you mentioned, we've seen the number of pubs decline quite steadily over the last decade or so. Some of that's based on the economy. Some of it's also, it's not just January, it's changing tastes amongst young people. Do you sense that young people tend to want to have a drink a bit less than our generation and therefore pubs do suffer as a result?
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. I think it is maybe a generational thing. I think I was brought up with, in East London where there was, a boozer on every corner of every street. It's a social hub. It's where people come and socialise and, so it's quite sad. I do think the generation, the up-and-coming generation, that they're not really into pubs. I'm hoping it will change somewhat. I think it's the same with nightclubs as well, in a sense of that sort of nightlife is changing, society is changing, but they're so important to the community pubs, you know what I mean? It would be such a shame if they died out eventually. So it's about supporting them as much as you can, really.
Danny, it's Leah here in the studio. I have to say,
Hello.
it is really lovely to hear a fellow East Londoner on the telly box. I just wondered if you could reflect, really, on your career. You've worked with everyone from Helen Mirren, Daniel Craig, Harold Pinter, no less. There's a lot of classism in your industry, in mine too. How have you managed to remain true to yourself and so successful?
I don't know, I've been around for a long time, so I've sort of learned as I've gone along with it, and I'm very proud of where I'm from. I'm very proud of my roots. I've tried not to lose that. Unfortunately, I've sort of got kids that are quite privileged, so they don't really understand. Sometimes I drive back to Custom House where I was brought up, and I've the kids in the back, and they're petrified, of getting out of the car, which is a real shame. And they can't believe that their dad lived, on a council estate. But I think it gives you a good work ethic. And I think, the classism thing is something that... There's a lot of isms in the world, and I think everybody, has to deal with it at some point in their life, And, it just made me a lot more determined and ambitious, really. I've always backed myself as an actor, and I'm not one for accents. Let Geordies play Geordies and, Scottish people play Scottish people. That's what I believe, that's my thing. Let the Cockneys do their thing. And I've lucky to have managed to have had quite a long career up to this point. So, like I said, I do think it gives you some sort of steel inside you when you come from a very working class background. You know what I mean? You're ready to take on the world as such.
I love that you talked up ambition there, Danny. Whatever your background, is ambition something that should be celebrated? That perhaps in this country is criticised, actually, more than people celebrating?
I don't know. I think you've got to back yourself in life, and I think everybody has a talent. You know, every single human being, you know, is really good at something. It's just that a majority never find that thing, and you know. So I think every day when your alarm goes off, I think that every human being deserves to wake up and go, I'm going to work today. You know, and they enjoy it, and they want to be part of something that they feel like they're adding to society somewhat, and something that they're quite good at. You know, there's so many people out there that do dread that alarm going off and go and do a job they don't want to do. They hate it, they despise it. But again, it's about belief and finding what that thing is. And I found acting from a very young age, from school, and really come from where I come from. It wasn't really encouraged, or there wasn't many avenues, or trying to get into a drama school and stuff like that. You needed to have some sort of sponsorship because it's too much money. But I always believed in myself for some reason. I think I was very uncomfortable in my own skin, and I just felt more comfortable pretending to be other people.
Danny, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Thanks so much for joining us.